year-end savings. Visit bushautogroup.com/save. That's bushautogroup.com/SAVE to unlock these special limited time offers. If you're searching for the perfect new or pre-owned vehicle, now is the time to act. These offers are insane. Head to bushautogroup.com/save and grab your exclusive year-end offers today. Philly rides with us.
I received a call one time, and the man said, "You probably won't call me back because I'm just a nobody." I immediately called him back. Nobody's a nobody.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan.
I always wanted to be the lawyer who represented the little guy, the voiceless, the powerless.
I was rear-ended by a car probably doing about 50 or 55 miles an hour. My car caught on fire. I'm a paraplegic, so I couldn't get out of the car. They were struggling to get me out of the vehicle. After the accident, I gave Morgan & Morgan a call, and they understood what I was going through, and they were there to help me each step of the way. It made me feel that I had people behind my back to help me and resolve the case.
I represented him, and we did well because we get the chance to help people put their lives back together and to go on as best they can after a life-altering day. There's only one you, there's only one Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Happy Friday. Friday is here, and you know, before we get into it, and Dan Borowski, our great executive producer, Jimmy Kelly in the house, it's Friday. We're heading next week into Thanksgiving week, which I can't believe. So we'll ask you if you've put up your all of your decorations and all that good stuff. I've just got to start out by giving kudos to Don Jr. This is Donald Trump Jr., who was reacting to this. This is mind-boggling to me, and it makes me furious. I don't know if you saw this. MSNBC, they have this opinion piece that actually sympathizes with the convicted killer of beautiful 22-year-old Laken Riley. We've talked a lot about the trial this week. Happened pretty quickly. They had overwhelming evidence in this case. Never should have gone to trial. They should have just said to this guy, dude, take a plea deal or you're going to get the death penalty. That's what they should have done because it was sick. And to make her family go through that and have to sit through and community and all those college kids. But this guy is a legal analyst, so I guess he has a legal degree. And, his name's Danny Cevallos. So, and thank you to those of you who saw this, and one of you had sent this to me, so thank you. I did not see this. But this was on MSNBC. It was a legal, it's an op-ed, but he's a legal analyst. And he basically says his take on this whole thing with this beautiful young woman, a Georgia college-age nursing student, the brutal murder. I mean, just a malicious situation where this guy, hunts her down, grabs her, and bashes her head in. It's a particularly violent assault on this young lady. And this, scumbag who killed her is here illegally with ties to the Venezuelan gang, Tren de Araguas, etc. But this MSNBC guy, this analyst, releases this piece, this op-ed piece, and you know what he says? He says that the killer never stood a chance.
Oh, come on.
I'm not making, you can't make this up.
Are you serious?
He says the killer never stood a chance. And, I mean, they found his DNA. They had scratch marks all over him. They found his DNA that they have to scrape in the autopsy from her fingernails. Think about that. They had a preponderance of DNA evidence. They had, all of this. They were doing pings with his cell phone and so on and so forth. But in this one, this guy, this legal analyst who should be fired, Danny Savalos, he says that because of the systemic way that our judicial system is set up, that actually the convicted killer actually never stood a chance against the system. Of course, he was, the outcome of the trial was never in doubt. And he goes on and he details in this thing how this guy, the scumbag's conviction was a certainty because of technicalities in the legal system, like evidence. I guess evidence is a technicality.
So just an update on that story, too. The original headline, Dawn, was, as you read, Laken Riley's killer never stood a chance. MSNBC has updated that. I'm curious if you think it's any better. The guilt of Laken Riley's killer was never in doubt.
Well, that is a huge difference. So right? I mean,
yeah.
But it's still, you look at this guy's piece saying the technicalities in the system and the legal system and really putting out there that, oh, well, look at the legal system. It's slanted against, I don't know, what killers? I mean, so good for Don Jr. He really saw this first, apparently, I think he led the backlash. He put out on social media, you literally cannot make up this level of depravity. And he said these people, he's talking about the op-ed writer and MSNBC in general, how sick this is. And he goes on to say that the guy is a murderer. He's an illegal alien that killed an innocent young woman. But MSNBC would rather go to bat for this guy.
So I found out they made that change, it looks like, around 9:53 a.m. this morning.
So they, but imagine the family just had some level of justice, although you cannot even wrap your brain around the level of pain that parents would go through and a sister would go through, and that whole family and community, the college kids. They've said, I'll never be able to walk or run alone on my college campus or anywhere. And just thinking about this thing and the guilt that a roommate felt because sometimes they would go out for their run and their workout together. I mean, all the victims of this criminal who was flown to Georgia from New York after he was they let him go for some crimes there, but flown by the Biden-Harris administration. And we paid for that flight, by the way. How much is a flight, from New York to Georgia? Just check in there. Like, we paid for that. It's crazy. The whole thing's crazy. But Don Jr. and all of you who are rightfully ripping into MSNBC and this author, but just a network, a major network that's very wealthy and very profitable. The fact they would even allow something like that, don't you have a gatekeeper to say, you know what, to not even wait a couple of days? And it's the week before Thanksgiving. And this family had to go through this trial because this scumbag couldn't just confess to what he did, apologize to the family, right? And by the way, the judge, they didn't give him the death penalty. They could have, but life in prison. And even the op-ed and others suggesting that this guy could someday make parole, which, by the way, he never will. This was such a brutal case. Even the scumbag killer, I'm not even saying his name. The convicted killer, even his own wife called him up and was like, basically, what did you do? Tell me what you did to that girl. So his own wife was tougher than MSNBC. That boils my blood on a Friday. Sorry, I just had to get that off of my chest. Your thoughts on that, 855-839-1210. And that leads me to another case that many of us have talked about, and that's the Fitzgerald family. So 2 updates on the murder of our great police sergeant, Temple University police sergeant, Christopher Fitzgerald. We, of course, have interviewed his widow, young widow, Marissa, family, kids, little kids. And so the accused killer, who I don't know what the heck is taking so long. It's really this killing on duty happened 2 years ago. Happened in February of 2022. And this 19-year-old who is accused, charged, jailed, right, awaiting trial, has still been awaiting trial, right? So he's in a Philadelphia prison, And the report is that he was attacked, the 19-year-old, identified as Miles Pfeffer. He's from Bucks County. And remember the whole story? And so this Miles Pfeffer is recovering from these stab wounds. Apparently a fellow prisoner there at Curran Fromhold had stabbed him with some kind of a homemade knife. So life's not so good for this 19-year-old, very pretty boy, I might say. So probably prison life is not so good for him.
Yeah. Yeah, it can't be good. Yeah,
not
we're seeing this.
Not convicted. Everybody deserves their day in court, but I'm just saying life is not so good for this.
I mean, I don't think it's quite fair to pontificate, but do you think this is related at all to the Fitzgerald, or do you think it's completely unrelated and something that happened separate?
Yeah, I have no idea, Dan.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the details. We're not getting there. Few, I think Fox 29, Steve Keeley and Ralph Cipriano and a few others. I had some people texting me the story, but not many people are talking about it or giving many details. We just know it happened last night. Curran Fromhold Correctional Facility, obviously in the city's Holmesburg section of Philadelphia. So the 19-year-old accused killer of Chris Fitzgerald, our sergeant, he has some puncture wounds to his head. But reportedly, this is not a life-threatening situation. So he was stabbed. We don't know what the motive was, or if they're going to charge whoever did this with, some kind of a homemade weapon in prison. Prison life is not pretty.
I look at this kid Miles, and again, he's just an alleged person here.
He's accused.
Accused.
Charged with murder and
he has not
carjacking.
had trial yet. But I look at someone like him who comes from Bucks County, and he has the mindset that he can come to Philadelphia and essentially play Grand Theft Auto, the video game, because it's so out of control, the crime here in Philadelphia. And then he goes to jail, and I don't know what happened here, but there's now more violence in this kid's life. And just my first mindset is almost sadness. Like, what the hell is this kid going through that he went down this rabbit hole where he thought it was appropriate to go into the city, call his mommy, after he killed a police officer, and then do all this, and then this happens. And I just want to know what we can do to prevent other kids from following suit. Did social media have a play in this? Did, the very lax progressive policies of Philadelphia have a play in it? And there needs to be that kind of open discussion as well.
What I remember most from the case, other than, meeting the Fitzgerald family and Sergeant Fitzgerald's widow, Marissa, is that the video that the family had to see, right? Because we met his parents, Chris Fitzgerald's parents too. And so the family this was captured on images, security camera images, body camera images. And so there is video existing. And so you see that Sergeant Fitzgerald, you see that he's shot at least once. And he collapses, so he's helpless. He's collapsed after being shot, after he had caught up with some teen suspects, right?
Yep.
And so then you see that the accused gunman pulls out a handgun. He had fired upon Fitzgerald at least once, and there is Fitzgerald gasping, but still alive. And at this point, the teen gunman, accused of, and according to all accounts with the video that's been captured, stands over the officer who is gasping for life and injured, stands over a helpless officer and fires multiple shots into him, several times into his head, into his face, killing him. That level of crime right there, in my book, that level is evil. That's just plain, that's evil. At close range, to stand over another human being, let alone a uniformed officer who, by the way, was, patrolling and by himself, and they were trying to get back up, and there was an issue of staffing that night, and we've all discussed that at great length. But to stand over somebody at feet away from their face and shoot into their head and face and kill them, oh my God, that's evil right there.
And on top of that, I mean, it's 2022 this happened. Like, why are we still awaiting trial on this? And can you imagine what the Fitzgerald family continues to go through? Marissa, widow, she comes on the shows, our shows, and discusses what her sons go through, where they still text their father because it's just... And Joel, his father, Christopher's father, comes on. He's just a fantastic guy that's been involved in law enforcement his entire life. And
great family.
Great family that just continues to be strung along by this case that's just... incredibly horrific.
Yeah, and what is taking so long? That's a great question, Dan. But Pfeffer, as far as Pfeffer, he's charged with murder, criminal homicide of a law enforcement officer, disarming an officer, robbery, theft, evading arrest, weapons crimes. And he also faces robbery, theft, terroristic threatening, and other charges in an alleged carjacking that he did to get away from the scene. So there's a whole lot to the case. And so we just wanted to update you, though, that he's now recovering. And we're not sad about that, right? Prison sucks. Maybe that's the answer, Dan, to publicize the story of what happens to somebody when they're accused of standing over an officer and shooting and killing them. They're now in prison for the rest of their life, and and they're subject to stabbings and brutality, and especially if you're pretty. If you're a pretty boy, you know what happens to you. So there's that. All right, your thoughts on all of this. We'll get into, I know there was so much breaking. We've got Casey, the recount. We've got Bondi. We've got Trump. We got Michael Whatley coming up. Oh, my goodness. So much to talk about. Be right back.
Cancer, a scary word, but not so scary if you have the right team. Hi, this is John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sundays at 8 and again at 4 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. And that team is Dr. Molly Fantasia and the medical staff at Innovative Medical Associates. Yes, cancer is a scary word and a difficult condition if you've been diagnosed. Over the years, the staff at Innovative Medical Associates has helped hundreds of patients with their unique medical hydration protocols. Cancer support is a large part of the practice at Innovative Medical Associates.
We believe in medical hydration. We've improved it so much that we are able to help people across the board with challenges before they become chronic.
Talk about improving your quality of life. Most likely, that'll happen when you visit Innovative Medical Associates. Check them out on the web at innovativemedicalassociates.com or call 856-489-0505 to schedule your initial complimentary consultation.
Move over, turkey. Put pork on your fork. Whether you're hosting a big family gathering or an intimate meal, Hatfield bacon, ham, marinated tenderloins, ground pork, and sausage will add a touch of warmth and flavor to your holiday table. This Thanksgiving, make your meal a savory celebration with Hatfield pork. Visit simplyhatfield.com for recipes and retail partners near you. Find your holiday flavor with Hatfield.
It's that time of year again. Hi, it's George Parenti, the lead dog at the Dogs and Cats Rule stores. If you're a pet parent like I am, you know that the holidays are just as important to our four-legged kids as they are to us. At the Dogs and Cats Rule stores, our goal is to make your holiday shopping easier. When it comes to getting the cutest Christmas-themed toys, collars, and leads, we have absolutely everything. That's Dogs and Cats Rule, now with 7 convenient locations. Shop small, shop local, shop family. Happy holidays from all of us at Dogs and Cats Rule.
Hey, it's Rich. As the early winter is coming, water will freeze and thaw around your property and into your foundation, and that's when the worst damage will happen. I used to worry about water, but then Garden State Earthworks solved my water problem for good. When we had our wet basement, it was caused by excess outside stagnant water. We called Garden State Earthworks. They assessed and drained the water away once and for all. Call the guy I trust, Lou Vargo at Garden State Earthworks, 856-848-4444 or GardenStateEarthworks.com.
Got a shopping list a mile long but need to charge your EV? No problem. Now you can fill up your cart and your battery at the same time. With a convenient network of Shell recharge stations at some of your favorite shopping spots, you can get everything done in one trip. Shop for groceries, clothes, and more while your EV charges up. And never miss a beat. Shell Recharge. Download the Shell app today to find the nearest Shell Recharge location. For more information on locations and how Shell measures reliability, visit shell.us/shellrecharge.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano at Batteries Plus Bulbs in Mount Laurel and Northfield. My friend Roy is looking for help. A handy do-it-yourselfer would be ideal. It's a great low-pressure environment with both full-time and part-time jobs available. Plus, if you're the entrepreneurial type, Roy is always interested in bringing in new services. But above all, customer service key. If you're willing to do what it takes to help, you need to talk to Roy. Be part of the team. They power it, they light it, they fix it. Call 856-638-0778. Batteries plus bulbs, Mount Laurel and Northfield.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Ooh, a little holiday theme.
Too early?
Is it too early?
I don't know.
So have you...
You're the one's doing it, so why shouldn't we, right?
I know. Well, have you put up your lights yet? I might. It's supposed to be... Sunday into Monday, I might put... I'm not saying I will
When you
actually
say
light...
though.
Dawn, yeah, me.
You?
Mm-hmm, me, myself, and I.
You?
Me.
You put up the lights?
Mm-hmm.
No Larry?
You think
I don't mean to throw shots at Larry.
You think Lair Bear's going to go out there and
Come
put...
on, Lair.
He's not
Get on the
gonna-
ladder. Let's go. Let's get going.
He's not doing
No?
it. No?
Are you big lights, little lights? The big round ones?
I like the
cascading
little
icicle lights?
I like the no. We did that. We did that in years past. I have the deer, so I have the nice like classy deer.
So they're like the
they light
warm
up.
kind of
Mhm.
incandescent
Yeah.
glow. Okay.
And then I put like the net lights. It's like a net, but they're little white lights.
Yep.
And they're all over like the bushes in the front.
Okay.
And
What
one
are
of the
your
trees.
Controversial thought. What are your thoughts on the how do I describe it? You put a projector in front of your house and it beams the laser lights onto the house.
I have one of those.
Do you?
I do. I have one. It's just like snowflakes. It's more subtle.
Yeah.
So it's not like
Okay.
It's not all the.
But do you also decorate like string lights, or do you just do the projector?
I just on one part I do the projector.
Okay. Okay.
And then in another side I have the deer.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I spread it out.
Yeah.
So it's not, like obnoxious.
Okay.
Like we don't have the big
You're
Santa
adding argument or evidence to an argument between me and Maisie because I am pro projector. I think that would be sufficient, especially on our townhouse.
Yeah.
Where she is like, I want to spend the day hanging up lights. I'm like, do we really want to waste all that time doing that?
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a lot of work.
But my advice, if Maisie really wants to do that.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Well, that's the thing is we already did the tree because
Yeah.
she's really into
Wow.
like the tradition mode this year. She wants to. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We're ahead of the time.
Look
Dawn.
at you.
Yeah.
But so are you lighting like you did the tree?
Yeah.
And you're lighting it at night.
It's lit. It's
Wow.
well, I don't want to say we did the tree and it's lighting because that gives
Okay.
the impression that we strung lights around the tree. No, we bought one of those artificial trees that already has the lights embedded in them.
Okay.
Because it's nice and easy that way. But then we decorate it with ribbons, big ornaments, little ornaments. We have beads, tinsel.
Okay.
Yeah. Picks.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a little early for me. What do you think? 85 is it too soon? 855-839-1210 is the number to call. We got to go through all of it. A lot of news today, and we do want to get through. Last night, and remember all week, what have I been saying, Dan? That I thought Casey would concede, even though Linda Kearns, the great Linda Kearns, told us they have to continue the count because once it's triggered. So really, he conceded. Casey finally conceded last night, and McCormick accepted it. But my question is, do they really have to continue the count? Because Linda had said they do. Remember?
Yeah.
She did tell us that legally, once, Casey had a moment where he could have said no, he would concede. But because he chose to fundraise, and that's really the question for me today, the follow-up question is, how much did the Democrats and outgoing Senator Bob Casey Jr., how much money did they raise for, here we are, what is it? What's today's date? November 22nd. So they've known that just statistically in the numbers and the way everything was going, they knew that there was no way statistically that they were going to win this. They knew that. And they knew it in early November right after Election Day. So at least, let's say by November 6th, it was obvious. But they chose to allow the recount, and they chose during that time to fundraise big time. As I told you, I was still getting the emails, the texts. Hey, can you donate $5, $10? This recount, it's so important. Many of you saying it was an attempt to steal that Senate seat. I don't really even see a pathway by which they could have stolen it, but we'll never know, I guess, thanks to the great work of the RNC attorneys like Linda Kearns and many others. She was just on yesterday. She was on Zioli last night. They were actually pretty funny. But because they said that Matt DeSantis should go back to Harvard, and They should get a refund on his Harvard education. I laughed out loud.
He's a great producer.
I was out like driving around, running errands. I know. And Matt, he's a good sport. But in any
I feel like
event,
Linda should recruit him to her team,
I know. Yeah, maybe she's trying to through humor. Through humor. That's it. But nobody's asking that question. It's all done. It's all good. No. And we keep receipts, so they have to release how much they made in the fundraisers. So believe me, I'll report it to you when it comes out. They have to report that. You know that, right? 855-839-1210 is your number to call. So, yes, thanks, Dan. So, and thanks, Rich Notaro, for reacting to that horrible MSNBC op-ed piece by a legal analyst who was so nasty. And Rich Notaro is absolutely correct that, he's not surprised that they would not even mention Laken Riley's name because she was, of course, murdered at the hands of somebody in this country illegally who had been arrested multiple times in the country, flown by the Biden-Harris administration. How outrageous is that? And Rich is not surprised at all. So thanks for that reaction. We're watching. And we've got YouTube up as well. Other news of the day, if we look at all of this, and that is what's going on in Philadelphia, all of this violent crime. I had talked earlier about the fact that, we talked about that pizza shop story and not so far from where we're broadcasting over by Girard College, right? The pizza shop where there's a fender bender. What the heck? Two guys walk into the pizza shop after some kind of a fender bender or road rage something. And one guy turns and just takes out his firearm and shoots the other 26-year-old guy in the head. Like, what is happening? And here's the weird piece of this. In any other part of the country, if this happened in the suburbs, I just want you to wrap your brain around this. The district attorney, the authorities would be, can you imagine like if that happened in Chester County in a pizza shop or Montgomery County or on the main line or Bucks County or beyond, anywhere in suburbia. And I'll just say the quiet part out loud involving white people. Okay. So the media, here's my allegation that the media they claim that they're so sensitive, right? And they're so biased. The truth is, to me, they're racist. Why don't they cover these stories? Why don't they cover these stories and say there is an armed and dangerous killer who gunned a man down in a local pizza shop, just pointed a gun at his head and took the life of this 26-year-old. If that happened anywhere else in the suburbs, right, the DA would come out, the leadership of that municipality would come out and say, OMG, this is not acceptable. We have a manhunt going on. We're trying to find this armed and dangerous killer. And yet, what do you really hear? Other than, of course, the Philadelphia police overnight crew or whoever, right, is always, usually it's Scott Small that's doing those and speaking out in the darkness of the pre-dawn hour. But where's the outrage? We should be outraged. And I'm sure in the community people are fearful, but they never report on this. Why? Well, why is that? And it's a different kind of bias by omission, and it's such a lack of insensitivity to what's going on in Philadelphia. So I'm just going to point that out to you, and just think about that. If you live in Bucks County, you live in the suburbs, right? You're out in Phoenixville, you're in Royersford, which, by the way, in your area, according to my sources, these cartels and these gangs, these illegals, they're here, and get ready for them with regard to the burglaries that are going on right now as I speak. So that's according to my police sources. But if you're out there and that kind of shooting happens, can you only imagine the reporting and the reaction from the police and the leadership? Where's DA Krasner? Is he talking about this? Is he holding a news conference? Is anybody? No. It's as if, well, it's just another day in Philadelphia. And think about my 6 a.m. newscast every morning, starting with the violence that happens to people in Philadelphia, and you just don't hear the follow-up. It's not acceptable. These people, if we value life, right, if we value their lives and their rights in the city, how come we're not talking about them? How come? And it's because they're not really focusing on it, and they don't value their lives in the media or even in leadership. That's just my opinion. Because if they did value if they did value their lives and what's happening and these dangers to society, they would do more about it. They're not.
And they're doing more to prevent kids from actually follow. If you were correct here and they covered these stories in full birth, they wouldn't have, kids who think it's okay to go out and commit crimes like this roving pack of 7 teenagers who are seen on surveillance assaulting individuals.
Which is horrifying.
And I think the media is complicit in that they aren't reporting the truth of these stories. And regrettably, it's seeping into the youth of Philadelphia.
Amen. But Krasner, you heard all about Elon Musk in that case, right? That was front and center. Krasner, how much did that whole mess we knew was going to be thrown out? How much did that cost us, we the people, right? 855-839-1210, the number to call. All right, we're going to switch gears. We have a great cybersecurity expert from our area. Speaking of cybersecurity, holiday crime, there are some warnings out, so we're going to talk to somebody local about that moving forward. And I got to talk about this time of year, thinking about travel, holiday travel. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they feature the very latest luxury vehicles from today's top brands. I'm talking about Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and more. And these models, they're beautiful. Sleek new designs, innovative features, powered by the very latest in technology. Piazza has thousands of these new and certified pre-owned vehicles available right now across their Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey dealerships. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. PIAZZA, PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows. And you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas? Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, the voice of the people.
First thing I want to say is a shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
You guys make my morning every morning. I voted Trump, my whole family. I obligate my whole family to vote Trump. I am so excited. Like, tears are coming out of my eyes. Like, it's a real thing. I love America. I love this country.
From South Jersey to Delco, from Bucks to Montco, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, we are the voice of the people. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
We talk all the time about your security, thinking about policing, thinking about this time of year. You think about, oh no, I'm going to have a porch pirate. I'm sending gifts. But what about something that's more of the invisible type of theft, and that is regarding cybersecurity? We talk about it all the time in the headlines, and we thought we'd get a little help from our friends. This is Bill Ryan joining me now, Regional Director, and this is Region 3, a huge region right? Headquartered in Philadelphia, but serving multiple states, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, Washington, D.C., and so it's CISA. But Bill is somebody, welcome in, Bill Ryan. Thanks for being here today to talk about cybersecurity. We don't talk enough about this until, of course, it happens, that the grid is attacked or there's, an allegation of that. Good morning, Bill.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning, Dawn. Thanks a lot for having me on.
Absolutely.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, very important topic, and you're right. It's not discussed as much as we'd like it to be on a regular basis.
I know that there have been times in our region, I remember even in Bucks County, not necessarily in Philadelphia, but we have heard, for example, people's 911 systems were hacked, or that it was an alleged cyber attack. And even sometimes when something goes wrong and we think, it's the Russians, and we'll just say that as kind of a joke, but kind of a worry. But right now, we keep reading these statistics that these kinds of attacks are increasing. And so the question is, what are we doing about it at the government level and working? How does that work? You work with the private sector to try to protect us in this, relatively newer age of cybersecurity concerns.
Yeah, Dawn, that's right. You hit it on the head. We do work with the private sector, the public sector, and we put out things that we hope individuals will latch onto as well to help better protect them in the cyber world. CISA, our main mission is critical infrastructure protection. So we go out and work with public and private sector stakeholders or partners, and that critical infrastructure I mentioned can be anything you can think of, from energy to healthcare to communications to commercial facilities, things we use and rely on every day. We go out and work with them. You mentioned the Region 3.
Mm-hmm.
Our regional office is in Philadelphia. We have a staff there, and we have security advisors that are placed around that entire region you mentioned, living where they work. So they get to know the stakeholders, get to know the partners, the owners and operators of that infrastructure. And you mentioned Region 3. There's 9 other regions like that around the country. So we cover the whole country like that with 10 regions altogether. And of course, we have our headquarters in the Washington, D.C. area. But we're doing things like assessments, vulnerability assessments, trying to figure out where somebody may be vulnerable. A system, an asset, a building may be vulnerable, both physical and cyber. I know cyber is our topic today. We're looking at we do training to help folks become how to protect themselves, help them run exercises, and support all kinds of events, et cetera. So we're out there doing that regularly with the owners and operators of the infrastructure that we rely on. But there are obviously, during the holiday time here, there are things that individuals can do as well to protect themselves.
Yeah, and we'll get through those. And I just, was looking at some of these, and I'm, obviously we're talking on a bigger scale. We all in our workplaces, we have to go through and it's just, it's gruesome when you have to go through some of the training, and like not to fall for the phishing scam and the malware stuff. But really, I'm talking about bigger type of cybersecurity risks. One of them I think of is, remember the U.S. Library of Congress? There was a hack there. We always hear about Chinese-backed hackers and Russian, and even with regard to elections. I think there were some data breaches in medical companies and financial companies. But for you, what can people do? And that's part of the awareness campaign that I think, CISA is looking at, to say we all need to think about this, top of mind. But what advice are you giving out to people just in your everyday life to make sure, to try and work together so these things don't happen?
Yes. So back to everything you mentioned, Dawn, you were right on the money. The larger institutions, the larger attacks, the more grand scale attacks, those folks I mentioned, those advisors, go right out and talk through all the different options for consideration that bigger companies and assets have to make themselves safer. So when we bring that down to an individual level, as we are online trying to buy our gifts for the holidays, things like multi-factor authentication that we hear about a lot, but maybe we don't necessarily employ, updating your software, turning on automatic updates on your computer for your software to be automatically updated to protect you. Thinking before you click on that, you mentioned we all worry about what we're clicking on. I mean, there are really expertly put together fake links and websites that come across your email, and you wouldn't know it unless you were really looking for one letter off or just something that looks askew. And there's nothing wrong with picking up the phone and calling that institution. Say it's your bank, for instance. Banks get those calls because people do worry about people asking them for things posing as their bank. And then using strong passwords, right? Don't make it easy for somebody to, you mentioned hacks, don't make it easy for somebody to discover your password, hack into an account of yours, and make life a little tougher for you.
Yeah. Well, and is ransomware still the number one cybersecurity threat?
Ransomware is really big for us. Yeah, we do a lot of work with companies to try to prevent ransomware and even notify them when we think that they may be vulnerable to a ransomware attack. We've got programs in place and then tools and resources in place to do that. So yes, ransomware is a huge concern of ours, and that's something we're doing literally every day with companies, corporations, assets around the country.
And what about the use of social media? So, thinking about social media, whether it's Facebook, especially because sometimes I see those warnings through social media, or you're saying clicking on things on your email. Is that something you're seeing, that they actually approach people as if they know them through social media?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point to bring up. I mean, it's not hard to become a victim of these scams. Criminal in nature. What we mentioned before on the larger scale, as you mentioned as well, could be country sponsored, state sponsored. But when you get down to the individual level, a lot of these are criminal activities. And yes, social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is that you're using, they do come across with advertisements for sales or for discounts, and next thing you know, you're clicking on that, and I know people personally in my family that have fallen victim to it. Yeah, and it's not hard to do, and you're clicking. If it looks too good to be true, it usually is.
Yeah.
And you start feeling that sense that, hey, something might be a little off here. So really think about that and look at the source before you click, because once you click and you let something into your domain that you don't want around, it definitely can get more difficult for you at that point.
Yeah, and don't forget gaming, streaming, entertainment. I have teenage sons, and so we have to make sure, right, that everything's secure, because sometimes on those streaming devices. But as far as CISA, and earlier I had mentioned, attacks on things like a 911 system or an electric grid, the water, right, the water departments and all of that. That's concerning as well, especially the 911 system, that kind of a hack to wreak havoc and not allow people to call for emergency help. How does CISA help keep us safe from those types of, and that's a terror attack, isn't it? If they attack your grid like that, or a 911 system?
Well, it could be, depending upon who the actor is.
Yeah.
So the larger scale instances like that, we do go out and we do these assessments, right? And we will talk to the owners and operators, sit down with a lengthy assessment questionnaire and tour of the facility, and really look at what if it's a physical in nature, a tour of the facility. If it's cyber in nature, which we're talking about now, it's more what their system's about. Physical and cyber, I've mentioned them both because they're interconnected. It's very hard to look at physical security and cybersecurity separately anymore. And so when you're going out to one of these, we call them lifeline infrastructures, like water or energy or communications or healthcare, transportation, the physical and cyber connectivity is big. And we're looking at those from an adversary standpoint, right? We're asking questions and looking at those from an adversary standpoint to see how their systems are protected in the cyber world, where we think there could be some options. We call them options for consideration, options we could give them to reduce their risk from one of these nation state terrorist or even criminal attacks, and and just bolster their security and resilience against them.
Yeah, I was looking up one of the big ones, the latest one, Finastra data breach, London-based company, one of the largest financial tech companies in the world, had this huge data breach. I mean, that's all your financial information and just volumes that they dump to the dark web, and you have no idea. Oh my goodness, that's really terrifying for people.
Oh, it is. No question. And as we continue on in this cyber life, right, in this cyber world, we have data stored in a number of different places, obviously. And so it's in all of our best interests, not only to protect ourselves, but it's CISA going out with these larger corporations to try to help them protect themselves. It's all non-regulatory. We're not going out and regulating these folks. We're going out and showing up and giving them a service to help them protect themselves and give them those options that we have using the resources and tools that we have and the expertise we have in the regions out there across the country and in our headquarters as well, obviously.
Bill Ryan, I hope you come back from CISA, or Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Thank you so much for being here today. And it should be top of mind for all of us. Bill, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dawn. I really appreciate you having me. CISA.gov, if anybody wants to review any best practices, CISA.gov. And Dawn, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yeah, you as well. Have a good Friday. So Bill Ryan there, Region 3. It's a huge, region, obviously, multi-state, but it's important to be top of mind. I get them all the time. There's one of the moms from when my boys were in Boy Scouts, and I will text her, "Did you send me an email?" And it's through social media. Her name's Vicky. I'm like, I think somebody hacked something of yours. You never know, but they want you to click on it. And so there's a lot we can do. Hey, we have Linda Kearns going to call us in, give us this is a breaking news, an update on the Pennsylvania recount. This has to do with Casey conceding, but we're going to get an update from our friend Linda. Be right back.
Hey, it's Rich Zeoli. I'm traveling a lot these days, right? New York and D.C., and I'm all over the place. And whenever I'm on Wi-Fi, I always use my DuckDuckGo VPN. Even when I'm home, I use the VPN because I know my data is encrypted. I do not want my internet provider knowing where I am on the internet. I don't want somebody stealing my data at a coffee shop or on the train or when I'm using a public Wi-Fi. That's why the DuckDuckGo VPN is the absolute best in the business. Listen, you hear about VPNs all the time. This one's from DuckDuckGo, the leader in online privacy protection and a local company. It's been doing this for years, helping millions of people. But that's not all you get with Privacy Pro. You also get personal information removal to make sure all your personal data is gone, and identity theft restoration. All three of those services to arm you up and protect you online for only $10 a month. And if you sign up today at duckduckgo.com/1210, you get a 7-day free trial. So do it today. duckduckgo.com/1210.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Did you know that men across the country are getting their ED meds at TriRexMD.com and saving thousands of dollars? TriRexMD.com has FDA-approved ED meds and is now offering sample packs. Listen to what guys are saying about TriRexMD.com.
My partner thinks that I am a rock star.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is definitely much happier.
I walk a little taller when I'm using the product, knowing what the results are going to be.
Because it is effective, I say I'm on a second honeymoon.
It's literally life-changing.
Visit TriRexMD.com. Your consultation is free, there's no copays, no doctor office visits, and your shipping is always free. You can now access a 30-day sample pack at TriRexMD.com with generics, if appropriate. Visit TriRexMD.com right now to get your sample pack. That's TriRexMD.com.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office,
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Free speech lives here with Don Stensland, 10 till noon on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
We're caught in a trap.
You know who deserves a hunka burning love from all of us? I'm trying to use an Elvis reference, or maybe a blue Hawaii vacation. Our friend Linda Kearns. You're the best. Are you going to get a little bit of a break here?
Well, I am. Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning.
I still have some things to wrap up from the election. So I'm not quite finished. And election integrity is a 365-day-a-year job, so I never rest.
So what's going on? What's the latest? Because I heard last night I was running errands, picking up, the kids and whatnot from sports and stuff. And I hear you calling to there's all this breaking news, and it broke on the Zioli show. And then you were calling in, and you were hysterical, by the way. That was so funny. But if anybody missed it. But so Casey has conceded. So what does that mean for the recount?
Right. So Casey conceded, and once he conceded, the secretary did put out a directive that the counties do not have to continue to proceed if they do not want to. And we obviously have people at all of the recounts, and they've been notifying us one by one. I think the last I saw, like, most of them had said we're not going to continue, so they're stopping the recount. They were all almost done anyway. Okay. And when they notify us of that, then we don't need our observers there anymore. So, yeah, it was a great day. I mean, I think it was too little, too late, but he conceded, and now it's official. Dave McCormick is the new U.S. Senator from Pennsylvania, and I am extremely proud of that.
Yeah. I think everybody just wants to move on, and especially moving into the holiday week. I'm glad people don't have to, and I know you're among them because you have to observe everything, but people don't have to stand in a big warehouse building counting these things for days. So when they're going into maybe some holiday travel and that sort of thing.
Right. But I do hope that all of the attention that was on this election, I hope that people stay interested. If you became a poll worker during this election, be a poll worker in the spring in the primary. If you were a poll watcher, contact your local, your county party or a candidate and ask if you can be a poll watcher on their behalf. So I'd like to see a lot of this enthusiasm continue. And if all of the Republican voters that voted in this election vote next year in the municipal elections, I think we're going to see some real change.
Yeah, and change because it's like the old saying, when the cat's away, the mice will play. So think about what was attempted here, right? What was attempted was to count illegal. At the end of the day, the attempt was to count illegal ballots. And so you and your team, essentially, you had to go into court and make sure that the law was followed. And I think, Linda, there's an assumption maybe in the past people trusted and said, well, the elections and everybody's going to follow the law, of course, and nobody's going to do things that they know are illegal. But the truth is, you had to mind every single, situation, it feels like, to make sure that the laws were followed.
Right. And these counts, these decisions by boards of elections, they go on after every election. And if we go back and look at what they voted on in the primary, I no doubt that they voted to count these ballots in the primary. But when the elections aren't that close, people aren't paying as much attention. And it took a lot to both in court and just having people there to object when we needed it. And that's all due to Chairman Whatley's vision. And I've said it before. He came to me in the beginning of the year, and we had a meeting with some other people from the RNC, and we talked about what do we need in Pennsylvania. And he knew what we needed, and he made sure we had the resources. And I credit him with this election and us turning Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and he's coming up just around the corner. The story is a breaking news story, and some of the New York TV stations are covering this, that Judge Juan Merchan, by the way, adjourning President-elect Donald Trump's November 26th sentencing date. Looks like the judge is allowing Trump's defense team to file a motion to dismiss this case, and he laid out a briefing schedule there, so that defense motion is due December 2nd. So it looks like that case is winding down, and that was probably expected, Linda.
Yeah, there was a lot on the line in this election, because had we not prevailed, I have no doubt that the left would have continued that insidious lawfare that they started. But we did prevail, so I'm very glad about that. So and I think that was the right decision by the judge to allow Trump's defense team to do that. So let's just continue to keep our fingers crossed. And I hope the left learned their lesson, and I hope Mark Elias learned his lesson, because he came into Pennsylvania and just sprinkled lawyers all over the place. They were like locusts, but we had a plan. I had already recruited the lawyers. I'd spent the year doing that, and we made sure everyone was trained. We had a plan with our staffers. We knew who to call at the boards of elections to find out, when these recounts were happening, when the provisional ballots were being looked at and canvassed, when the mail-in ballots were being canvassed. So we were ready. This was building up the entire year, and we were absolutely ready. So I think that we showed that we are the anti-Mark Elias state, and I like to think of myself as Pennsylvania's anti-Mark Elias.
Amen. We do have Michael Whatley ahead, so we'll look forward to his comments. But Linda Kearns, all your hard work. You mentioned the locusts. We got rid of the locusts, the top cicadas. Rich Cioli gave that one nickname to Casey Jr. So a lot of little insect references here. But seriously, Linda, terrific job on this. I think you made Pennsylvania proud and certainly brought forth a lot of election integrity. I think we can agree on that with your professionalism and your incredible work ethic. Linda, thank you.
Dawn, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to your entire team, because having me on and with the ability to talk directly to the voters was just, I think it turned the corner, and we owe everything to your station.
Linda, thank you.
And I just want to make a producer's note, Linda. I can't wait to see you Monday out at the NAC, Newtown Athletic Club. Woo! Come see Linda Kearns, Scott Pressler, and the rest of the Mount Rushmore live with Dom Giordano and Jim Worthington. Newtown Athletic Club with a live broadcast Monday beginning at noon.
And I'm bringing Joe DeFelice. He's who I call my election law soulmate. I couldn't have done it without him. He's the attorney I had in charge of Philadelphia. And then a couple of my other team members are also going to come to see the whole show. And I really appreciate that honor. I thank you for it.
Awesome. So we'll see you Monday. Linda Kearns, thank you so much. Michael Whatley, still ahead. Be right back.
Odyssey's I'm Listening is our commitment to more mental health conversations. Mike Shinoda from Lincoln Park talks about being willing to be open and talk about their mental health.
What is my mental health right now? And it feels like it's low, or you're looking at your spouse or friend or whoever and you're saying, I think that they're having a really bad day. It should be cause for action.
Talk saves lives. For more mental health conversations, visit imlistening.org.
Let's talk about your mental health, free from fear or judgment. Most people experience feelings of depression, anxiety, grief, and hopelessness when dealing with stressful life events. If you need to talk, call or text 988 to connect with a trained professional who is ready to listen and provide support 24/7. The Philadelphia Crisis Line has trained counselors who get it. They understand that sometimes you need an ally, someone who will listen and get you the support and services you need. Call or text 988 because you matter.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Better water leads to a better everyday experience. With treated water from Martin Water Conditioning, you can experience silky smooth skin, refreshed hair after a morning shower. Your clothes and towels feel softer. They're no longer battered with minerals. Your coffee and teas taste better. Your appliances using water lasts longer. Even before you leave your home, your entire morning experience is improved with better household water. If you want to experience better water, call Martin Water Conditioning 800-887-7555 or go online at martinwater.com.
See Joe Conklin at Parks Casino with the world-renowned City Rhythm Orchestra for a special Conklin's Comedy Night Christmas show. Thursday nights, December 5th and 19th.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house there were no presents for Jerry Jones, 'cause he's such a louse.
It's Conklin's Comedy Night Christmas show with City Rhythm at Parks Casino, December 5th and 19th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Times are tough. Sometimes a paycheck just doesn't cut it. Today, more people than ever need our help. I'm Ernie Russell, Board President of the Catholic Charities Appeal of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. Through the annual appeal, nearly 1 million people in our community receive help through shelters, soup kitchens, schools for special education, and so much more. Please donate today. Your gift matters.
Please donate at CatholicCharitiesAppeal.org. That's CatholicCharitiesAppeal.org.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. Your boxes are wrapped and the gifts are in. Our employees are ready. Let the holiday ride begin. Let's start with the price. It's easy to manage when you ship with the reliable USPS Ground Advantage. In just a few days, it's sure to arrive. We're working nonstop to keep the spirit alive. USPS Ground Advantage, the affordable and reliable shipping solution for the holidays. Visit USPS.com/advantage.
Woohoo! Another girls' night out. I'm so stressed from shopping, I couldn't find anything. Have you tried shopping jewelry television? JTV? I don't know. Everyone in my family is so different. JTV has thousands of jewelry styles. Artisan, diamonds, pearls, colored gemstones, watches, even gift sets. I shop on TV and online.
New JTV customers save up to $40 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Now, can you relax? Yes. Another round? Yes.
This is a commercial for California Psychics, America's most trusted psychic network. So, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. No, really, this is it. You won't see your soulmate's face in the clouds or your career path mapped out in your cappuccino foam. This really is it. We could add some dramatic sound effects if you'd like. So what you waiting for? Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
You've been served by the District Court 1210. You're hereby scheduled to fulfill your sentence on this 20th day of November, 2024, starting at the base of the Art Museum stairs.
On your mark, get set, go! Come on.
Hold the flag up, Jimmy.
Here he comes.
There it is.
There he comes.
There it is.
Look at that. Look at that.
Well, we made it. My bet settled.
He did that pretty quickly, too.
Yeah, 32 seconds.
That's what, 32 seconds into a 72-step flight? That's not bad.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
A very good 48 hours for all of us for making America great again, in my humble opinion. So, you know, Linda Kearns, our great election integrity RNC attorney, I think she put this so well, that there was so much riding on this election. In Pennsylvania, you delivered. And this was, in many ways, it was a team effort, a grassroots effort. And the truth is, everything went right because everybody was focused. Within that context, I'll just tell you that the breaking news within the past maybe 10 minutes or so is out of New York City, the Judge Juan Merchan adjourning the President-elect Donald Trump case, right? It was, he had a November 26th sentencing date, which is just nasty. First of all, think about it. It's right before Thanksgiving, like, we're going to give him the shiv and make sure we ruin his Thanksgiving. And it's always the way with the left. But the judge now seeing the writing on the wall. And I told you from day one, all of these cases, and please remember, I have the audio and video, all of these cases would be thrown out. But the judge now allowing the defense to file the motion to dismiss the case, which it will be. He laid out the briefing schedule. It was a very brief court hearing just now, that news coming out. So the defense motion by Trump, they have to have that back in by December 2nd. And as we say, it's over. It's all this lawfare and nastiness and weaponization of government against not just Trump, but I think for Americans, we felt all of this happening to us, and even the weaponization of government and politics against us. We saw it. Remember covering right here in the federal building with a Catholic father who was saying, no, you're not going to go to my home with dozens of law enforcement officers and then ask me to cut a deal and all this intimidation. You remember that case, right? With Mark, with Marco. Remember this. And think about that. Somebody who was a Christian who had a right to stand across the street from an abortion clinic with his son and had the right to protest. And yet that was this DOJ. Remember the Amish farmer whose farm was raided. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just what happened at the top to somebody like President Trump. It's people across America felt this. We felt this weaponization. You must wear a mask. You must get the vax. And so all of this coming to roost, there's a whole lot of baggage here. But we're really in a celebratory mood. Do we have Michael?
We are on hold waiting for Michael right now.
We're waiting for Michael Whatley. So Republican National Committee Chair Michael Whatley, he'll call it, he's very busy, so we appreciate his time. I did see him earlier, a couple hours ago, updating people on Fox News, but we have further updates because of all of this breaking news. And then you think about the reaction, fast moving, and congratulations, by the way, I said it this morning, I'll say it again. Congratulations again, Senator-elect Dave McCormick, your great wife, Dina. So Dave and Dina, I'm sure they're relieved. All the people who had to count the votes in these big warehouses across Pennsylvania, they're done. We already reported that. That's another breaking news story this morning. And now we see the reaction with Matt Gaetz then stepping aside. That happened last night. And the naming of somebody I think is perfect is Pam Bondi, somebody we got to know over the years, and she certainly is loyal to Trump. She was one of his attorneys that was fighting against all the lawfare. So do we have Chairman Whatley?
Yes, we do.
The man of the hour, the archangel, if you will, of the Republican National Committee and the Republican chair, Michael Whatley. Hey, take a victory lap. Congratulations. And now you can, I guess, relax a little this Friday with news that now the count is over here in Pennsylvania. Good morning, Michael.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I think the news that we are now official, that Dave McCormick is going to be seated in the Senate, just absolutely welcome news. And what a great way to wrap up the week.
Yes.
The voters of Pennsylvania made it very, very, very clear they wanted a change. And, they voted for Donald Trump. They voted for Dave McCormick. And, Dave is going to be a hero. He's going to be a fighter every day in the Senate for every Pennsylvania voter, every Pennsylvania family. And I'm so excited that we were able to, put a shoulder to the wheel and get us to this place, despite the fact that the Democrats were doing everything that they could to muddy up this process and really, truly drag the voters of Pennsylvania through the mud over the last couple of weeks.
And, Michael, and Linda Kearns, by the way, was just on, and there's a great event with Dom Giordana and Linda and so many on Monday that we're talking about, that we're excited about. But Linda Kearns was just on, and she was thanking so many of our listeners because we have an active group, a huge audience across the region. And the truth is that it felt like such a, I mean, you think about Philadelphia and what happened here, you know, that little thing, the Rev War and whatnot, just citizens coming together in a belief of a quality of life. And it felt like that. It was such a citizen's approach. But Linda would call in to all of our shows, as you well know, Michael, you would too. And she would say things like, stay in line. And we had the back and forth, and it was in real time. How much of that do you credit with just the awareness level that people now have that, and Linda pointed out, Michael, we have to keep this going, that we can't just...
It is so
right?
substantial. It really, really makes a difference. When I built this election integrity program in North Carolina back in 2019 and 2020, nobody was paying attention to election integrity the way that they needed to be doing it. And, now that we've had the opportunity to come out of 2020 and have a true national discussion about the need for election integrity, we have everybody's attention, and that's where it needs to be. 10 years ago, a Bucks County commissioner saying I'm going to openly violate the law and count ballots that shouldn't be counted would not even have been blinked at. They would have been like, oh, that's terrible, and they would have moved on the next day. And yet here it became a national story because we took it and we blew it up, and we have social media, we have alternative media capabilities, and every patriot in this country is paying attention to election integrity now. And I will say this about Linda and the rest of the team that we put together in Pennsylvania and around the country. We cannot get this done. I have 200 to 300 people on staff at the RNC. We had 6,500 attorneys and 230,000 volunteers on our election integrity team all across the country. And we did events with Laura Trump and Pam Bondi, who's going to be a fantastic attorney general. Matt Whitaker was traveling around the country with us working on election integrity. I'm so excited to see him as the ambassador to NATO. But these are real heavy hitters that were working all across the country to make sure that we had a national discussion, and it made all the difference in the world. We had our war room that we set up across the country. We handled 21,000 different issues on Election Day in all 50 states. That's never been done before. And, so just having the patriots involved, having your listeners involved, and having radio stations and shows like yours that were talking about this and raising awareness of it made all the difference in the world. I was talking to President Trump last week, and he said, man, we did it. We stopped the steal. I guess we did.
Amen.
Yes, we did. And
Thank God.
And it really, thank God for it, right? I think that when Laura Trump and I were brought in to take over the RNC in March, I gave a speech, and I said, we're not going to do anything except get out the vote and protect the ballot. And a lot of people are like, wow, does he mean it? Well, here we are. And I think that across the country, throughout this campaign, we did. We got out the vote. That's why he was able to increase his vote share, so dramatically, and why we moved Black voters and Hispanic voters and Asian American voters, his way, why he did substantially better with women voters than he did before, and than anybody thought. Everybody said, oh, you're going to lose women by 22 points. No, we lost women by 5 votes. That's really good. So I think, all of that came because we were very, very diligent in getting out that vote, communicating with voters. And then on the election integrity side, we've never had a national program like this before. And there certainly are issues, right? There are still states, where the laws are screwy. We're still counting votes in California today, 14, 15 days after the election. And so, we have a lot of work to do, but I am so thrilled with what we saw in Pennsylvania and the fact that when all of these issues came up we were there. We were in the room, and we had Linda Kearns and we had the rest of our team was able to respond immediately. We were in court immediately, and these issues were addressed in real time, not after the fact. That's never happened before the way that it did this cycle. And I'm really proud of the effort that our team put forward.
Well, Michael Whatley, you've been, as usual, gracious with your time, and it should be, and Linda always points out that you're the architect of this election integrity program. You started it years ago. It wasn't on anybody's radar. I think everybody's just appreciative and hopeful for the future that you mentioned Pam Bondi and just the new administration coming in, that we won't see anymore, hopefully, this kind of weaponization of government that's happened here in our communities and across the country, and yes, even to President Trump.
Yeah, well, I'm excited, and I think that we have an opportunity with a common sense mandate. Donald Trump ran by promising to restore our southern border, rebuild our economy, make sure that we're strong enough to protect our allies and interests around the world, and keep our communities safe. This is an agenda that the Pennsylvania legislature needs to adopt, that the Congress needs to adopt, the Senate needs to adopt, and we need all of President Trump's appointments to go through so that they can start implementing, this America First agenda and the opportunity that we have as a country to lead the free world for the next set of decades because of this election cycle is really an amazing opportunity.
On that hopeful note, Michael Whatley, thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, and if we don't talk, I hope you have a blessed Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much.
All righty. Take care now. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Chairman.
Thanks, Michael. Michael Whatley, our chairman of the RNC, of course, and I don't say it enough, the architect of that program that he started several years ago. And the Great Dom event, make sure you come out. So what's going to happen, Dan, as far as, so on Monday, I would love to head out. So like 11:30, because I know we've kind of structured things where you're going to have to leave to head out. And where is it again? Take us through what's going to happen Monday.
Newtown Athletic Club, Dawn. It's a great event that Dom's hosting out there because throughout the entire election season, he was teasing that he had built a Mount Rushmore. He had imagined a Mount Rushmore of those that flipped Pennsylvania to Trump. And on that Mount Rushmore, some great names. Scott Pressler, who was just out there at the Bucks County meeting fighting for that. You have Linda Kearns, you just heard. Jim Worthington, who's the head of the delegation for Pennsylvania. He called out the vote at the RNC and did so much with events and all. And then Sean Parnell, who you heard multiple times on Dawn Stensland show. All out there, Newtown Athletic Club. Actually, I think Sean might be calling in. That's a new development. But the other three will be live out there and many others. I think Jeff Bardos will be stopping by, Guy Shiraki at some point. So just a lot of names that you heard throughout the election with the Dom Giordano program.
And maybe some surprises.
Yeah.
Maybe some surprises.
Somebody we're talking to might be making it out there.
You never know.
Yeah, but Newtown Athletic Club, that's Monday, noon to 3. Live, it's free. There'll be food. There'll be everything. Just head out there. It's going to be a great event for the Mount Rushmore of the flipping Pennsylvania featuring Dom Giordano, Jim Worthington, and the Newtown Athletic Club.
Fun. So, did he tweet out all the directions? Do people have to get a ticket?
I don't think so, no. I think
all right.
You show up. Yeah.
You just show up. You don't have to get even sign up for the free ticket or whatever.
Should we get Dom on after the break just for some
clarification?
Yeah,
we'll have to get some clarity on that one just to make sure.
Just a quick clarification.
Because I'm getting texts now. Well, wait. I mean, if you DM me or text me, I will send you the information, but we love to put it out there and tweet it out as much as put it on social media so that you have all the info. But yeah, so Dan will head out at 11:30. Obviously, I'm on the air till noon, and then I'll head out afterwards and stop by to see you. So really make a point to stop by, even if you can't stay for all of it, and to take the victory lap. For you, as Michael Whatley said, you, the Patriots, you did this. You stood in line. You stayed in the line. You called in or you put out on social media what was going on so that it was, and then it even would go to Lara Trump. I mean, Delco, remember that? It was awesome, the level of communication that we had. And so I think we were all, as Patriots, really doing our duty, if you will, just to try to make sure that we were doing everything to push for that election integrity. It was a grassroots movement, Dan.
It really was. And I actually did just pull Dom into the studio. So Dom,
good.
Just a couple questions about Newtown Athletic Club coming up Monday. Is there tickets needed, or can people just show up and join us?
No, it's free. No registration, nothing.
Okay.
Just bring a hearty appetite and Wet Your Go It, too. There'll be beverages and the whole thing.
Nice.
Jim Worthington goes all out.
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh,
Beautiful.
yeah, he's unbelievable.
We're looking forward to this, Dom.
That's going to be so much fun.
Woo, cannot wait. And Dom, who's all there? Do you have a full list, or it's Linda,
it's
Jim?
Some surprises. There might be some surprises.
Linda will be there, of course. Scott Presler, Jim Worthington. These are the three of the biggest, that I know of across the country. As far as we've seen them day to day here, what they've done. I can't imagine a trio beating that. Joe DeFelice, who ran Philadelphia. And then some surprise people stopping by that might call in nationally, et cetera, to congratulate them.
Nice.
Well, thank you.
Dom, this is awesome.
Well, thank you, Dawn.
It's incredible. So we'll keep promoting it just to remind you and pushing it out on social media, and then we'll talk about it all Monday morning, because maybe if somebody's out and about, getting their pie ingredients, or you haven't gotten your turkey yet. So we'll make sure, but it's going to be a great time.
Have you done your shopping yet? It sounds like you're
Oh, no.
No? Yeah.
No. But I don't cook
when's the day to go for all this Thanksgiving stuff? Is it something you usually prep for? Or?
Yeah, I'll do it this weekend.
Yeah.
Finally, just get a little time.
Gotcha.
Get a little time. But
are you hosting?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
No.
We go to family. But here's what I bring: the desserts, which I don't make, and I'll say they're homemade, but just not by me. So, but I'll bring cakes, pies, wine, but I don't cook, and I help clean up.
Well, I got a suggestion.
What?
How about some water crock?
Ooh.
Yeah.
What a crock.
We don't have the ring right now. I'm just saying overall. I mean.
Yeah. Well, what a crock. I guess you could bring, because the French toast actually is so good that it could serve as a dessert, because it's delish.
Yeah. I'm just thinking ahead. What could be easy for us to bring to the family?
I know, right?
We're so unprepared ourselves as
Dan's going to raid my freezer.
Yeah, I know. I'm digging for ideas over here.
I hear you. Well, listen, we will have more fun and more breaking news. There's so much going on today, and I want to hear from you as well. 855-839-1210. I'm at Dawn Stensland on X, by the way. Speaking of X, some Elon Musk news. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale and Company. The NBA is back, and FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casinos, America's #1 sportsbook, wants you to catch all the action. Right now, FanDuel is giving everyone, let me repeat that, everyone, 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you have to do is catch every tip-off and buzzer beater and place any $5 bet on the NBA to get 3 months of NBA League Pass. Let me repeat that again, 3 months of NBA League Pass, courtesy of FanDuel. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg, FanDuel.com/Greg to make every moment more this NBA season. By the way, if you want to bet on the Philadelphia 76ers futures, will they make the championship? Will they make the playoffs? You can do it all right there. $5 bet. You get 3 months of NBA League Pass for free. FanDuel.com/Greg. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA and the official partner of 1210 WPHT. 21 and over, present in PA. After a 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Does your broker say, "We're different. We're a fiduciary. We only make money when you make money"? A fiduciary duty puts the investing consumer first before the self-serving interests of the licensed professional. So the reality is, no broker is different. They all collect fees, even when you lose money. Does that sound like a fiduciary responsibility to you? Crash Proof Retirement is the only firm in the nation to record all financial meetings, providing a legally binding guarantee of Crash Proof Retirement's fiduciary responsibility to our investing clients.
Rob Lukens, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania. We saw our portfolio grow 15%. The interest we made through Crash Proof's investments, we keep it. I've actually never seen a fee in my life with Crash Proof. Never, ever in my life have I ever had that with a broker. Pick the phone up, call. It's simple.
Schedule an appointment by calling 1-800-722-9728 or visit crashproofretirement.com.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
Hey girl, it's your new night guy, Jimmy Fallon in the house from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and free on the Odyssey app.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet?
Not yet.
Do it today.
Okay.
At 1210 WPHT.
It's Friday. They always tease me, but this is my 29 and a half. I'm at 29.5 hours of live. And as my husband, Larry Menti, always says, yeah, and you'd think that she'd be all talked out when she gets home. Because he'll bring something up.
You don't
know
go
what I mean?
Crash Fridays?
No.
Really?
Because I am like, the whole, and I called Michael Watley, probably didn't hear me. So he is the architect of election integrity, but he's also because I'm playing on Michael, the, archangel, if you will. Like the whole thing, because I have a Michael. That, yeah. I love the name Michael. Yeah. But seriously, I am fired up with what's happening in our country. And I am so hopeful. And I love the Trump picks, and I fully support them. And I think in our time, I'll say this, even with teenagers, when in your life have you seen, even though I know you pay attention, right? But when in your life have you seen an incoming, newly elected president, I realize he was president last time, where you refer to his cabinet members as by their first name? So it's like Elon. Nobody even says his last name. Tulsi, Vivek, right? Pam Bondi, she has a cool last name, so okay, she has the last, but you know who these players are. And it really is. I said to my husband when this all started, I said, this reminds me of, because we do love to watch the NFL draft every year. I watch it because I'm a football mom and I love the behind the scenes of the families. But it reminds me of that. It's like, and the number 5 pick, and Matt Gaetz is out. And now moving to the number 5 pick is Pam Bondi from Florida. I mean, they might as well do like the NFL draft. And they're calling them the Avengers, right? And these are awesome fighters, and they're patriots. And I think they will make America great again. And not just that, even there was another name that was floated for the AG pick with when things were maybe going south for Matt Gaetz, who I think he'll be a czar of something perhaps. Maybe that'll happen. It'll all be fine, and he'll still fight probably within the administration.
Do you think he'd be elevated to senator if Rubio's?
Nah, I think Lara Trump wants that one.
Okay.
So I think that he would much rather be I think he does want to be in the administration. I do. And I think he's a fighter. You've seen him in some of those different settings where he goes after people, and he's very good at that, and he's very sharp and he's very quick. And so that'll be like his skill set. But I think, to me, it's a great time in our country where we'll have transparency, we'll have accountability, and we will make America great again. I just want to mention really quick, Senator Mike Lee. The reason I did not think that he would be an AG pick, and it's just because Trump has kind of joked about this, but not really joking, where he did pluck, like we mentioned, Marco Rubio. So you got to be careful when you take too many people who are Republicans currently serving in the House and the Senate. You have to be really careful of that. So Mike Lee is somebody, he was just put on an important energy committee, right? So when we talk about Doug Burgum, Governor Doug Burgum, right, this is a guy who's a self-made billionaire, really common sense, good guy. He and his wife are lovely people. Had the chance to meet him when he was here in Chester County during one of the many Trump Force 47 events that I was blessed to be invited to and a speaker at and that sort of thing. But when you think about what it's going to take to make sure that we are energy independent, it's not just about the jobs, which is huge, and for us here in Pennsylvania, but just being energy independent and what that means worldwide. Because think about even right now, Russia, the Biden administration, what are they doing? We're buying, right? We're buying energy from Russia. Think about it, or Venezuela. So think about what that means in the world when you have it over them. When you say, I don't need you, Middle East. I don't need you, Iran. I don't need you, Venezuela. Russia, yo, bye-bye. I don't need your energy resources because we're independent. Right there at the bargaining table, it just gives you that power that you have. And it's all about the art of the deal. That's what it all goes down to. But as far as Larry and I, and we do debate, so last night he says, what was it that he said to me about Trump? He said, oh, well, listen to this, Dawn, because all of these pundits, and I swear to God, like, I've only been on the air, dude, 20 hours, and you're triggering me. He goes, listen to this. All these experts are saying with regard to Trump that he's not going to be able to do this immigration issue with bouncing out the illegals. And this is why Biden couldn't do it. And they don't have the power to do all this because you know why? In places like Cuba or Venezuela, we don't have the authority to fly people back in, and they don't have to receive them. So that's what's Larry's argument. He's like, legally, you can't do that because they don't have to take the flight. And I said, oh, yeah? Well, if you would listen, as I listen to everything Trump says, and I'll bet you right now, 855-839-1210, you're listening, you know what I'm going to say.
I mean, husbands expecting listening. Come on. It's like right when we got married, for some reason my ears stopped working half the time.
But what am I going to say? What is you? And you know it listening, 855-839-1210. Trump often says that he's fully aware that in the past, when he wants to fly a group of people back who are a bunch of people here illegally, and especially those perhaps that escaped from a Venezuelan jail or whatever, that they say, oh, no, we're not going to take them. Mr. President, oh, sir, you can do the Trump administration, the Trump imitation. Sir, guess what? They're not going to take them. That we don't have that authority. It's a legal issue. So Trump, what does he do? He picks up the phone and he calls the leader of whatever nation you want to talk about. And he says, oh, yeah, I'm looking here. You know how much we give you a year in aid, in air quotes? Doesn't matter. Pick a place, because we in America, we give everybody money. And well, if you want your $300 million, and they go, oh, Mr. President, oh, yeah, we're going to take that plane full of people. That's the answer. That's Trump. Boom, Larry, if he's listening. All right. Poor Lair Bear. See, I'm talking about him. He doesn't get to defend himself.
He doesn't defend himself, yeah.
But he's just kind of like, he's like, okay, honey.
Hey, after the break, Dawn, we got some questions on the youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Please go like and subscribe. And click that bell if you want to be notified. A couple questions about Thanksgiving meal that coming up and holiday decorating.
Can't wait. We got some great callers ahead, too. Come away with me to paradise, the Italian Riviera, gastronomical event that only Conservative Tours can deliver. I want you to join me for 11 luxurious days with the professionals from Conservative Tours, the best tour operator in all of Italy. Trust me on this one. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, Portofino, Rapallo, Santa Margherita Ligure, Tuscany, and the brilliant Cinque Terre. $53.78. Yes, that includes your airfare, which is awesome. Dining events at the wineries. We'll have so much fun. Last time we started singing in some of the wine, Volare. We had so much fun. I have to play you guys video of it. What a great time, and we become friends.
You have video of this?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
It's hysterical. even an authentic farm visit to see the Parmesan cheese being crafted by hand. But I promise you, what happens in Italy stays in Italy. We'll only release the authorized pictures and video. It's so much fun. So 888-733-9494, conservativetours.com, hidden Italian villages like Giacomo Puccini, San Gimignano. You've never seen these places in person. They're beautiful. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, Florence, Milan, and then the Lakes region with Bellagio, Orta, and Isola Bella. Join me next spring in Italy. I'll see you in Cinque Terre, conservativetours.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
It is a cold and windy finish to the work week with rain showers, even some snow showers, especially north and west of the city, high around 40 degrees. Tonight, rain and snow showers come to an end, low 36. And for Saturday, some sunshine returns. It'll be windy and a bit milder with a high 52.
There's a chill in the air. You flip on the heat and nothing. And why does it always happen right after you've finally gotten cozy? For as little as $13 a month, Oliver will keep your home's heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical systems in check year-round. And guess what? Membership also comes with yearly inspections, exclusive discounts on repairs and replacements, plus priority emergency service.
Call Oliver for all of your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs.
Want to grow your savings even when interest rates drop? Open a First Harvest Credit Union 7-month certificate online and earn 3.5% annual percentage yield. Visit firstharvestcu.com/online exclusives to learn more about this online-only offer and our other savings options with amazing rates like our 15 and 24-month certificates to lock in higher earnings. First Harvest Credit Union, serving the Delaware Valley for over 84 years. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Wawa's Hot Turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets because Hot Turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hey, this is Jimmy Fallon in the house, and dig this, folks. This is not a drill. It's the real thing. You can now join me weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT or anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
Holiday shopping, maybe a luxury yacht on your Christmas list, not. Well, Christmas decorations. Who do we begin with, Dan? 855-839-1210 if you want to talk about the Victory Lap, RNC chairman, Michael Whatley, the architect of election integrity planning, started years ago. And the Archangel. That's my new architect and Archangel.
So I just want to get this question in there first from youtube.com/@1210WPHT. They, them ones asks, just wondering, Dawn, what your favorite Thanksgiving dish is?
My favorite?
Yeah.
Stuffing.
Really?
Because I never eat it.
Like
except Thanksgiving.
Fresh made stuffing, or are we talking like tabletop?
It's like, it's cooked in the bird.
Yeah.
Stuffing.
Not very safe though, huh?
Huh?
Isn't it like scary to eat?
No.
Stuffing the bird? I thought there was like risk of like salmonella and stuff.
No, you just make sure everything's cooked properly.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're worried, you could just cook it in the bird and then zap it in the microwave. That pretty much kills everything.
There you go. Yeah. So I think first we might want to go with Joe, who has some commentary on what we're talking about right now.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, guys, how are you?
Good.
First of all, I'm going off topic here. I can't believe you call your husband dude. But ask the dude if, in terms of the Trump poll, if he ever watched the movie Con Air. And that ought to shut him right up. Put him on a plane, no questions asked. You're going here, like it or not.
That's hysterical. That's hysterical.
Now, as far as I understand, this is Dan's first house, right?
Yes, it is. First time owning.
Dan,
Yes.
Dan, you're absolved. You can decorate that house anytime you want.
All
But
right.
what I'm really upset with is being pushed through these seasons. I mean, I no sooner get accustomed to pumpkin spice at Wawa in the summer, and they go into holiday blend before Thanksgiving. So I think we got to take our time when we go transition from Thanksgiving to Christmas. And I don't think we should decorate until at least the day after Thanksgiving.
I'm not going to disagree with that. You know, I kind of like that idea, and you're right, because it seems like time is shifting forward. That, like, why is pumpkin's not relevant to July, and sadly it's becoming the July and August drink because it seems to be moving months forward. And
yeah.
But you know what? I said this on Kale, or I texted Kale when they were talking about me decorating the tree. I think it's a phrase that I currently live by, and I think it's a smart one. Happy wife, happy life. Didn't want to get into the argument and say, yeah, let's wait a couple of weeks. No, you know what, Maisie? Let's get it done. So we did.
Dan, you get a pass. You get a pass.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm a realtor, and I understand the excitement. I just don't, at this stage of my life, I don't like getting pushed from season through season at like an escalated rate.
Yeah.
So enjoy it, but let's enjoy Thanksgiving before we enjoy Christmas.
Thanks, brother.
I'll tell you where my Christmas starts, and it bugs me these days because I can't stand the guy. But my Christmas starts the day after Thanksgiving when I hear Springsteen sing "Santa Claus is Coming to Town." It kills me because I was the biggest Springsteen fan you ever meet, and he broke my heart.
I know. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I do. It's just sad. Who we going to next?
Yes, I was getting Bruce Springsteen queued up. We'll get there.
Oh, you were?
Yeah,
all right.
But, I don't have it in time. Peter, Southwest Philadelphia, wants to talk about Linda Kearns. Peter?
Hey, Peter.
Hi, Dawn. Yes, I was, in regards to Linda Kearns, I think I know when she calls in on Rick's The Old Show also.
Yeah.
She, about having a show. I think she should get a 15-minute or an hour and a half, whatever she's able to do, because she provides us good information. She's a great communicator.
She is.
And that's how we'll win over votes. We'll convert people over because a lot of people here in Southwest don't know anything. And I love confronting these people and say, listen to the station, listen to her, or listen to this, and they hear it and they don't believe it. They even ask me, where'd you get this information? I say, I get it off of talk radio. The news broadcasts don't want to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
So information is the key to everything. And so I try and convert a few people around here,
Peter.
especially the Harris people who come around. I say, who are you voting for? I throw right back in their face. I say, who are you voting for? I say, I know. I say, I know you're getting paid for this. You're either paid or volunteering, and then here's the scoop.
I love it, Peter.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, but yeah, if she could give her a spot someplace, keep on hitting us with
I
information.
feel like after doing all the math,
Democrats.
though, second behind Dawn Stensland with 39 and a half hours on air is Linda Kearns with the 30 hours on air. With
Yeah,
you.
well, after the season's quote over, it's never over.
Yeah.
But we have to keep this up because we are climbing the mountain right now.
Yep,
And once we're at the top, things will smooth out a little bit.
Hopefully.
We'll just have to refresh it a little bit at a time. That's all. But throw the information out there. That's why WPHT is a great communicator. And I've actually called your news radio station when I was listening to Dom pertaining to the Bucks County DA. I think it was the DA. Okay. I gave the news radio station a little bit of time to report it. They didn't report it. I got on the phone and left a message, and within an hour or so, they were talking about it. But, of course, they said many of the ballots many of the registrations were correct. They have to put that little zing in there.
Yeah, thank you.
60%. Okay, 60%.
Thank you, Peter. Appreciate you for sure.
Yeah.
By the way, Matt Gaetz is speaking out. I sent you the audio. I don't know if we'll have time for maybe the Dom show or later show, but he's speaking out, and there's audio of him saying that he would be in prison right now if these sex smears were actually true. So he has done now his first interview. This is Matt Gaetz in an exclusive, and says that if all of this stuff that you're hearing is true, he would be in prison. And since he's not and was never charged, that shows, what's really up. So that's a breaking news story. I always just want to give you those little headlines, to kind of dribble them in between your Christmas lights, your Thanksgiving dinner, all that good stuff. But that's going on with Matt Gaetz. Do we have to take a quick break? Where are we, Dan?
We do have to take a quick break, and we will have that Gaetz audio right afterwards.
Cool.
I have it here, and we'll
and
get
take
it going.
your calls.
Cool. Be right back.
Be right back.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas? Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
Hi, everyone. This is Dom Giordano here with my friend and dentist, Dr. Robert Bentz of the Bentz Dental Group. Dr. Bentz, we've talked about your cutting-edge, state-of-the-art care. Why is that so vital?
It sure helps me diagnose and elevate the level of care I can offer if I'm using the latest technology. I use it on a normal, everyday basis, and I can see things that is just missed. It's not misdiagnosed, but you can't see something that your equipment won't allow you to. So I feel that if I can't utilize what's out there, and it takes a lot to be trained on it, feel comfortable, that can work for everyone. Not just these advanced cases, but it gives you a very consistent, efficient, and predictable result.
Dr. Bentz and the team at Bentz Dental Group provide solutions for the most complex dental cases. Call Dr. Bentz today at 610-272-6949 or visit BentzDentalGroup.com. Bentz Dental Group, say it with a smile.
Hey, it's Ike Reese coming to you from the most wonderful time of the year in Philly. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really do add up. But this season of giving, Verizon's offering a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So, while ice skating for two is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. How about gifts for your third cousin? That's pretty steep. A single line with Verizon, not so steep. A real tree, pretty pricey. A single line with Verizon, less pricey. Even a trip to the Philly holiday market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome with auto pay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store.
$15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Mystic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Don't miss the Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
So the breaking news of the moment, the exclusive, Charlie Kirk, congratulations, gets Matt Gaetz in his first reaction interview to everything. Listen in.
I just want you to have an opportunity to address that once and for all. We can kind of put this to rest. Matt, what happened here?
Yeah, there is a play that is run in Washington when they're trying to smear somebody. And, they go and dredge up false, years old allegations of the most salacious and clickbait-y flavor possible. And in this case, those allegations were coming from sources that Merrick Garland's DOJ had already deemed not credible. Like, if the things that the House Ethics Report were true, I would be under indictment and probably in a prison cell. But of course, they're false, because when you test them against other records, when you test them against other testimony, it all falls apart very quickly. But I was dealing with a politically motivated body. They didn't like me because of what I did to Kevin McCarthy. All of them were handpicked by Kevin McCarthy, and they had an axe to grind. So that was going to serve as at least enough of a basis to delay my confirmation as Attorney General. And I could have answered all those questions. I could have engaged in a months-long fact battle, but we don't have months to go through that. We got to have an AG ready to go day one to implement the immigration agenda and work on the other key policy deregulatory objectives of the president.
And so that led to Trump then accepting that situation where Matt Gaetz was saying, all right, I'm out. Like I say, he was elected, so he could next January take his seat. I don't think he will. I think he will end up being appointed in something where he doesn't have to be confirmed down the road. But Trump then releasing the statement, my good friend Pam Bondi is going to be a phenomenal attorney general, and talking about all of her. I mean, she's well known as an AG, obviously worked many years as a prosecutor, 8 years as an attorney general in Florida. I know we've talked a lot about it this morning, but just to, I feel like if somebody's been smeared as Gaetz has been without any charges and the tangible evidence not revealed, you know what I'm saying? I just always feel that it's good that we air the equal time. He's spoken out, so that's what he says, and I tend to agree with him. And he's saying, look, if that's true and that's horrible, I would be in jail, and he's not. So there's that. And he's not even charged.
Bob and Abington,
Bob,
where are you going to want to go here?
Is this my friend? Is this my pal? Hey, Bob.
Hey, Dawn.
How are you?
Matt Gaetz, good. Remember when we bombed Baghdad and we had the shock and awe? What they did was that night was they sent a bunch of A-10 warthogs with the titanium bathtubs for the pilots, and they just flew them over the city and let them be target practice for the anti-aircraft guns. And then all the F-18s and the F-16s above took out everybody that was shooting at them. And that's what Matt Gaetz was.
Mm-hmm.
By putting him up, they got to show which four senators would not play ball.
Yep.
They got to go and Matt Gaetz has got like titanium bathtub skin and could take this. Also, they got him out of the Congress, and they can put in somebody they want in there,
Mm-hmm.
and they can also get Laura Trump in there as senator to take out for Mark Rubio. So they're doing movements in the chessboard. I think he wanted Pam Bondi all the time. He knew Matt Gaetz wasn't getting in there, and he just sent him in like an A-10 warthog to get shot at.
No, I think it's a great theory. It certainly is, and I love the shock and awe war with Trump. I think that's a great theory. It wouldn't surprise me at all. And so that's what they've done.
I don't know if you remember that night, but the A-10 warthogs were flying around there, and everybody was shooting at them, and you'd wonder, well, what the heck are they doing? And here they were just targets, so the other ships can take them out.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you. I mean, remember when Trump came in the first time? Okay, he was a newbie, right? He had never done this before, but now he's a seasoned veteran. He was there. He's been beaten up. He knows how to navigate through this. He's putting together his team, and the swamp is not going to be able to have the advantage anymore over somebody who's never been a career politician. So hopefully the swamp shivers at this one. And I agree with you. I think that Matt Gaetz, he was too cool. You know what I'm saying? If all this happened to you in this whiplash speed, but he's so calm and cool about it, I would not be surprised if this whole thing was planned.
He's made enemies everywhere. He's made enemies on the Republican side, the Democratic side. No one seems to like him. So that's there. So he'll probably be shoved someplace. And like I said, they'll open up a seat. They wanted somebody that's not going to start trouble and ruin our slimmer majority in the House because he's a troublemaker. So he's the one that took McCarty out and that's put us back months. So, and I've been telling my wife for months, and she kept saying, "Pam who?" I said, "Pam Bundy." I said, she's gonna be the AG. I said, she's phenomenal.
She is.
She'll do a phenomenal job.
She will. She's the one. And Dan, you wanted to go. Thank you so much, Bob. I really appreciate it. What have you got, Dan?
Yeah, well, I have something playing right now, so give me one sec.
Okay.
And we got MSNBC, Dawn. Even they couldn't deny that Pam Bondi was a good selection. And I have the audio for you somewhere. Here we go. Take a listen.
Pam Bondi is exactly what I was saying in the last segment that we should all fear, because she's competent. We may not agree with her ideologically, but she actually knows how to do this job. So if anyone on the Democratic side or anyone who cared about liberty or justice was thinking, well, maybe Matt Gaetz will screw this up and that'll give us some time. No, Pam Bondi knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing about immigration. Remember, Florida is one of those states that's been very aggressive about migrants and deportation and moving people to different states and everything else like that. Florida has enacted all sorts of rules and laws to curtail students and what they can do on campuses and finding legal justifications for manipulating education money. She is a dangerous and effective pick, and that's frankly worse than what we would have got with Matt Gaetz, even with the deplorable moral background that he has.
Dangerous in a good way, right? We all think dangerous. In other words, dangerous means somebody who, is going to make sure that illegal gang members who escape from prisons from other countries, she's going to figure out the best specific pathway to get them the heck out of our country. But that's what MSNBC views as, quote unquote, dangerous. Marianne, we're coming down to the last few minutes here. Hey, Marianne.
Hi, Dawn. I'm just calling to comment on the conversation that you had with Larry regarding what to do with the illegal immigrants that come from nations that are saying that they're going to refuse to accept their nationals if they're deported. But, in addition to, not giving them any more money, they can put an immediate halt to all trade. They can kick out their diplomatic corps in the U.S. if they have any, and they can put an immediate halt to all visa applications from their nationals.
Boom. There it is. See, I needed Marianne with that debate with Lair Bear. He always tries to get me, and I'm like, oh, no. And see, now I've got more ammo thanks to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Marianne. I really do.
You're welcome.
He's probably listening going, oh, my goodness, what is she doing? It's crazy. I appreciate
Did you get any text from Larry during this whole thing?
I know. Okay, I'm amazed that he's not texting me because he's probably like, what are you? But seriously, come on, Lair Bear. You can't just, I don't know. Maybe he's trying to trigger me. I don't know what it is, Dan. It's all good, though. It's Friday.
Or maybe he just values your opinion so much that he's like, I need to, set my own opinion, so I want to hear my wife's.
He thought he was going to win.
Oh, is that what it is?
He thought he was going to win. Ha-ha.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Not today. No. I am on top. I'm the winner of this. Especially, you just got to listen to Trump. We all know, and look at the smartest audience in the world, I think. Thank you all for being patriots, taking the victory lap today, and we continue to fight on as we all really want the same thing. It's not about politics. It's about making America great again and believing in our great nation and the patriots who fought for and many died for and sacrificed for our nation. So thank you. Happy Friday. Dom Giordano. Dom, I am so psyched for your big Monday event.
Well, thank you, Dawn.
It's I'm hearing there might be some surprise type celebrities. Oh my goodness, it's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, well Dan's going to do a push-up too. Don't forget that.
Most surprising part of the whole thing.
We have judges standing by after
Wait,
that.
You mean the ice cream push-up pop?
No, that's exactly what I mean, Dawn. Yes, exactly. A push-up pop. Yes.
Yeah. So we have George Paquetto stopping by. He was the one duking it out for Dave McCormick, I believe, almost directly with Mark Elias.
Nice.
The guy who people think should be disbarred. So he'll break all that down, Dawn. Have a nice weekend.
Have a great one. George Paquetto, this is going to be great insider info. Dom shows right now.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Sinus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
My dad, Len, always says, the minute you get in a car, everyone, front and back, should buckle up.
And my son Jordan always says, the minute you get in a car accident, first seek medical attention and then call us. This is Len Lundy.
And I'm Jordan Lundy of Lundy Law. My dad